I turned 44 the day a plain cardboard box showed up on our porch. No return address. Just 2 words in neat blue cursive. Happy birthday. I knew the handwriting. Trevor Marsh, my wife's brother. We weren't close. We weren't even cordial. If Trevor and I were magnets, we shared the same pole. Inside the box, whiskey. Not supermarket stuff, the kind with wax, a heavy cork, and a label that whispers you can't afford me. Here's the catch. I hadn't touched alcohol in 2 years. A heart event will do that. The entire family knew, including Trevor. Looks like this one's yours, I told Clara, my wife of 20 years. She laughed, rolled her eyes at her brother's sudden generosity, and set the bottle on the counter like a tiny miracle. The next morning, the landline rang. Trevor's. Number. So, how was the whiskey? I gave it to your sister, I said. She loved it. Silence. Then, a strangled bark. You did what? The line went dead. A chill moved through me, slow and deliberate. Collapse. That night we ate pasta at the kitchen table, the house smelling of garlic and something like peace. Clara poured herself, a generous finger of the whiskey. She was mid-sentence. Book club drama. 73-year-old neighbor learning to swipe right when she froze. Fork suspended, color gone. Her hand clawed at her chest. Clara? The glass hit tile, exploded. She toppled. A sound tore out of her that I hoped to never hear again. Paramedics. Questions. What did she eat? What did she drink? I stared at the amber spreading across our floor. Whiskey, I said. It was a gift. In the ER, a tired doctor with kind eyes said, She's stable for now. We're running tox screens. Her symptoms are consistent with poisoning. The word cracked something open in me. Trevor's phone call. You did what? The panic. The bottle meant for me. Evidence. The next day, the kitchen smelled like a crime. Scene. Marinara, whiskey, and bleach. The bottle sat on the counter, the wax broken, half full. I found a mason jar, poured the remaining whiskey like it was nitroglycerin, and slid it into the fridge between milk and leftover lo mein. Then, I saw it in the trash, a little unmarked glass vial dusted with white residue. I bagged the vial. I bagged the glass shards. I bagged my fear and called the only person who'd believe me, Grant Mitchell, an old Army buddy turned chemist. Bring it in, he said. Today. Grant's lab hummed and blinked like something out of a careful future. He tested. He frowned. He ran the sample again. Marcus, he said finally, voice low. White snake root extract, concentrated. Even a small dose can stop a heart, especially yours. He swallowed. 3 months ago, I saw the same toxin in another suspicious case that never made it to trial. Not a mistake, not a fluke, a method. Detective I walked into the Riverside PD with a paper sack holding a mason jar like a bomb. Detective Isabel Reyes, sharp eyes, sharper pen, took my statement and my evidence. Don't confront him, she said after everything. We'll get a warrant, save every call, every text. I nodded. Then I did the one thing she told me not to do. The visit. Trevor answered in a house that smelled like industrial disinfectant. Too clean. No clutter. No life. Thought I'd thank you, I said. Clara enjoyed the whiskey. His smile peeled at the edges. How is Clara? In the hospital. Poisoned. I wandered into the kitchen. On the counter, unmarked jars of dried plants lined up in a row. A DIY apothecary. Interesting pantry, I said. I thumbed the recorder in my pocket and let it run. He licked his lips, calculating. I took my shot. Did you enjoy the bottle yourself before sending it to me? Something ugly slid across his face. The pretense dropped. You weren't supposed to give it away, he said. There it was. 6 words. The room went cold. I left before he remembered he was dangerous. The warrant Reyes listened to the recording 3 times. "It's good," she said. "It's also reckless. Don't do it again." 18 hours later, a judge signed the warrant. The forensic team swarmed Trevor's beige 2-story like ants on sugar. They came out carrying banker's boxes and evidence bags. Reyes found me in my car across the street. "Your brother-in-law had a lab," she said. "Mason jars labeled WSR, white snake root, and a dozen other toxins, notebooks, dosage calculations, targets." She flipped a page. "He had your initials with dosages based on your weight and heart condition. And Clara's initials with smaller amounts, spaced out. Marcus, he's been microdosing your wife for months." The world tilted. Clara's headaches, her fatigue, the nausea. We blamed on stress. "There's more," Reyes said. "Emails about family problems and big gambling debts. Motive meets method." They arrested Trevor at noon. He went pale when our eyes met, not surprised, cornered, trial delays, lawyers, a courtroom that smelled like old wood and bad coffee. The DA, Sarah Coleman, was surgical. "The evidence will show Trevor Marsh made choices, researching toxins, acquiring them, testing them, and attempting to murder his brother-in-law on his birthday." Clara testified first, voice steady, hands shaking. "I thought it was stress," she said. "I never imagined my own brother." Grant explained the chemistry for the jury. High concentration, pure extract, targeted to a known condition. "This is professional work." Reyes walked them through the house, jars, notebooks, initials, dosage math, a quiet monster's ledger. My turn. We played the recording. Trevor's voice filled the room. "You weren't supposed to give it away. Caldwell, Trevor's slick attorney, tried to make me paranoid, tried to make the whiskey an accident, the words a misunderstanding. You can't cross-examine math, lab results, or a confession that clean. The jury was out less than 4 hours. Guilty on attempted murder of Clara. Guilty on attempted murder of me. Guilty on poisoning. Guilty on tampering. 25 years without parole." As deputies cuffed him, Trevor turned and hissed, "You ruined everything! This isn't over!" He was wrong. For us, it was finally beginning. After 2 months later, we were back on our porch. Clara's hands still trembled, but she was home. The neighborhood looked the same. We did not. Trust is a plate. You can glue it, but the cracks stay. We double-checked locks. We side-eyed casseroles. The mind adapts. It also scars. Clara's father, a quiet man who believed in blood and duty, had put a hand on my shoulder after sentencing. "You did what had to be done," he said. "That boy, what he became, that wasn't family." Reyes called to say the department had tied Trevor to at least 5 deaths over 3 years. The rest might never be proven. "You probably saved lives by coming forward," she said. I didn't feel like a hero, just a man who got lucky and listened to the wrong voice on the right day. The sun softened over the street. Clara sank into the chair beside me, coffee in hand. "You know what I realized?" she said. "He didn't win. He tried to take us apart. We're still here, different, sure, but us." I thought of the empty whiskey glass we kept. The police had released it, and for reasons I couldn't explain, I'd saved it, a reminder of how thin the line is. Beside it, on the shelf, the mason jar, scoured clean, now filled with tap water. A relic that once held murder. A jar that now only held light. "Justice gives safety," I said, repeating something Reyes told me after the verdict. "Peace is built slowly, one quiet evening at a time." Clara threaded her fingers through mine. We watched the stars come on, one by one, and started building.